Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. Ooh, that was a good one. Mm-mm-mm. Yes, honey. Yes, she came in with full falsetto. Full falsetto. Listen, you guys already know why we are here. We are here for Power, Book 3, Raising Kanan. This is Season 1, Episode 9, Loyal to the End. There's only one more episode after this. You guys know I did like a full rollout, like normal, typical Miss Honey 50 plus minutes of a review last week. But I'm proud of that work, and I'll tell you why. It's because we caught it. Like, we caught it all. Everything except it was Burke that had Jukebox flagged, not Howard. So shout out to I think everybody caught it but me. I think I was the only one that thought it was Howard, but yeah. So anyway, today's video is going to be a little bit shorter because honestly, one of my viewers, one of my subbies, my honeybees, put down below that the actor who plays Lulu said that 8 and 9 were going to be the two best episodes of the season. I think 8 was the best episode of the season. I personally didn't think 9 was that great, uh, per se, but it was definitely impactful. Definitely impactful. And before we get too far into things, remember, if you are new to my channel, please hit that subscription button. I am also just trying to get back in the swing of reviewing shows, as I find them, and things that I see online, so little stuff like that. I'm trying to get back in the swing of it, but I got a lot going on personally. So check out my community post if you don't know what I'm talking about. But I am doing Queen Sugar on Tuesdays, and I'm also doing I forgot because my brain is frozen. I forgot because my brain is frozen. I'm doing a new show that it's coming on Fox, and it's called Our Kind of People. It airs this Tuesday, September 21st, but it will not be uploaded until Wednesday the 22nd, because I also have Queen Sugar on Tuesdays as well. So yeah, look for that. So if you're new to my channel, yeah, hit that subscription bell. You guys don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, and remember, we talk about it down below. And I need you guys now, conversationally, more than ever, just to keep my mind off of everything that's going on in my personal life. You can tell that I have a different setting right now. That's because I am at the family compound until further notice. So yeah, let's get into it. This is Loyal to the End. The next to the last episode for this season 1 of Raising Kanan. They have already been picked up for a season 2, which I am low-key excited about. I think overall the viewership for this show has been super low. I mean, you guys know, just not just the viewership here, but just overall the viewership has been low across the board. People who get thousands and thousands and thousands of views in the first hour that they drop at their review or their recaps are getting much less right now. But it's a good show. It's a good show. I think it's a good show. The continuity of it is great. So yeah, I'm here for a season 2. The episode opens with Marvin, taking what he considers to be revenge into his own hands with Unique and his boys, and he gets Lil Rob, the dude that snitched on Kanan, um, to drive him in a van over to the movie theater where Unique is coming out with his baby, his little kid. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but he's buckling them in, and he's also got his guys there, and they are in a separate car. So Unique knows that he's at war. He's rolling, 5, 6 deep, right? Buckling his little baby into the car, and Marvin pulls up, slides the door of the van, and he just ta 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 ta. Unlike Lou, Marvin hits everything. It's just fortunate for Unique that his car is in fact bulletproof, right? Because if not, he and his little baby both would have gone home to see Jesus, right? Also, at the end of that scene, he's sitting in the van and he's got a gun pointing at little Rob's head. This is after they've driven off, they've been shot at, they've been shot up. He gets back to the meeting spot where Marvin's crunched up car is, and he's got a gun at Lil Rob, and he tells Lil Rob he knows he's the one that dimed out Kanan, that Kanan put the killer drugs out on the street, the blue caps. And the guy was like, he's just a kid. They're not going to throw the book at him for what he did. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And I did that to protect you. And Marvin was like, nah, dude. You ain't do it for me. You did it for you, right? They was going to put a murder charge on me. Lou doesn't care. Shoots the guy in the head. Brains against the window. Then he empties out a canister of gasoline, sets that mug on fire, puts another cool, y'all remember Cools cigarettes? He puts another cool in his mouth, lights that joker up, drives off, explosion. It's supposed to be this moment where Marvin is coming across like a rebel, like I'm out here and I'm wilding, I'm blowing stuff up, I'm shooting stuff up, I'm going hard in the paint for my family. This is what we're getting from Marvin, right? We see that Lou is alive, but he's in a medically induced coma, so his lungs can heal a bit, right? Because the smoke from the fire has basically damaged his lungs greatly. So they want his lungs to heal a little bit. Jessica's right by his side, and so is Rob. He's also got a cop at the door, which, okay. All right. Aesthetically, it looks good, right? Like, there's a cop at the door. He's being monitored, right? Okay, that's fine. We see where Unique and his boys are trying to finish the job. They've got a nurse there at the hospital that's helping them out, giving them uniforms and badges to get in and around the facility. And it just so happens that Detective Howard was outside smoking him a cool cigarette. Usually you see people smoking cigarettes like, but these dudes, they hold their cigarettes and, he's out there smoking. He sees these guys, with their haircuts, their Gumbies, etched 6 feet tall. Like, your dude is really 4 feet, but the hair is 2 feet tall. That makes him 6 feet tall altogether, right? If you factor in the Gumby, don't start right here at this sharp edge, this architectural edge right here. Don't measure from up here at the top of the Gumby, right? 2 dudes go in, and they seem like they got a smooth operation going. I don't know why it take 2 people to roll an empty bed, but okay, that's fine. Gurney, that's fine. Whatever. Nobody's suspicious. It's the 90s, right? Like, So, but the whole plan is thwarted because Howard is able to go ahead of it. They were able to get Lou moved and in another place. So when they showed up to shoot it up, throw the curtain back, Lou is gone, and Detective Howard is like, "Yeah, I gotcha, you dirty screws. I gotcha." Locks him up, hauls him off, and locks up the nurse, right? He seen it all go down. He seen it all go down. Okay? Shout out to Smoke Breaks, right? So Lou is brought out of the coma eventually, except he doesn't come out of it right away. He waits until about a day later to come to himself, to come out of it, and his voice is kind of like scratchy and weird. Okay, all of that is from the smoke inhalation. He wakes up and he immediately is looking for family. Where is family, right? Rock has been there. So has Jukebox. So has Kanan. Okay. And so has Marvin. But because we're in the middle of a war, all of the soldiers are out now and there's no one there but Jessica. But when he woke up, true to his word, he's loyal to the grave, right? And back, apparently, he's looking for his family. All he has there is Jessica. So it looks like we're going to see Jessica in season 2. Like, hopefully not. Like, I'm over this chick, right? All right, so that's Lou. Then you have Jukebox. Man, that's crazy. Let's get into Jukebox, right? So Nicole's parents are down at the precinct and they are pushing their privilege to get Jukebox charged with Nicole's murder. They're talking to Burke and they're saying, "We know you got her off," and all of that. I don't know how they know all that, like how they're privy to all that, especially since what they were pushing was that Nicole died of a heart issue. So why do you keep trying to stir up her getting locked up for murder, Jukebox getting locked up for murder, especially if you're trying to push the idea that Nicole was this innocent? And it's really Nicole's mom, right? Nicole's dad is trying to get her to calm down, trying to get her to go home, trying to get her to let this go, because the things that she's saying and implying to Burke about Jukebox and about Nicole is unfounded. It's really about the fact that they were lesbians, but they were a lesbian couple, right? But Burke is also a lesbian, so she can see it. The dad, says, "Oh, she got her hooked on these drugs. She gave her these drugs that killed her." The dad is like, "You have no proof of that. My daughter never took drugs before." He's like, "You have no proof of that either." I'm telling y'all, her dad gonna come out the closet too. Nicole's dad is gonna come out of the closet too. He's gonna eventually admit who he was as a person. We're gonna see it, who he was really deep down inside. We're gonna see it because he's already in this place where he's not buying into all this white privilege that the mama is trying to give off. And she's giving us her normal Karen rhetoric. You don't want to push it, I'm going to push it. You don't want to see her get locked up, I'm going to push it, because those kind of people, don't get away with treating people like us this way. It's just, it's thick, right? The privilege is so thick, whatever. We see where Burke then in turn goes and approaches Jukebox down at Nicole's grave site. She's like, "I figured you'd be here." Okay, girl. All right. Now, mind you, Jukebox is a minor. If I'm not mistaken, Jukebox is still in high school. I ain't seen no graduation. Unless she old for her age, in high school, she's a minor, and we have a police officer that continues to approach this minor. It bothers me because we're seeing consistently her being forgotten of as a teenager, as a young person, right? But anyway, she shares a story as Jukebox is there at the gravesite. She still hasn't opened. It doesn't look like she's opened Nicole's card to her. Still hasn't read it. And Burke basically offers Jukebox her own personal story about the girl she first fell in love with, Megan something. Her and Megan were real close because both of their daddies was drunks, and their mamas used to send them both down to the bar to rustle their daddy up and get their daddy and them to come home. Like, still, it's so funny what they used to send kids to do. Back in the day, we went and paid bills. We went in and bought cigarettes and beers from the store, like did the grocery shopping. Back in the day, you sent kids to do grown up stuff all the time, and it was just understood. Like back in the day, you could write a kid notes. You know what I'm saying? And say, this is so and so and so. Let my child pick this up for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. So, yeah. Anyway, so she also tells her about her brother. Her brother committed suicide. You know, this is all these ingratiating stories that is supposed to get Jukebox to say, hey, you're like me. You're human too. You've had tragedy too. But Jukebox says as much. So you're going to give me all your testimonies, and that's supposed to mean what? We buddies? We friends? What? She takes Jukebox for icy. And she continues to try to talk to Jukebox, except this time she's asking very direct questions. She's asking about the drug that killed Nicole, drug that killed these other people on the street. And Jukebox is unequivocally loyal to the end. She says, Kanan didn't do that. Kanan doesn't do that kind of stuff. And I don't know anything about what you're talking about. Well, what about D Wiz? She was like, check it. Yo, you 5-0. I'm not talking to you about this. And she just lets it go. Although there's a side of her that wants to talk about her feelings in terms of her sexuality with this woman, the one person that not only accepts it, but can relate to it, right? It's this whole moment. Okay, but she knows she has to reject her. Later on, she goes to the hospital, and she feels Rock in on what's going on, and Rock lets her know, yeah, she's 5-0. You can't trust her, but maybe you can use her, right? And Rock continues to set her plan of motion in place with Jukebox. Remember, this is war, and she uses Jukebox in this way as well, but we're going to talk about it. Kanan, Rock has already had a talk with Marvin, but we're going to talk about that. At home, Marvin, trying to get some music with some bass in it, goes into Jukebox room and looking for a tape, something hip hop, right? And he's already been caught going through her room one time like a crackhead, real suspicious. Like, he's finding tapes, but he can't find what he's looking for. He's going through stuff, drawer after drawer after drawer. He gets this one drawer, opens it up. He can't really get it open. He finds that it's locked. He breaks it open, and there's pictures from one of those picture booths where you put the money in and you take like a bunch of pictures together. Right? Rows and rows of these pictures, right? And of course, it is Nicole and Jukebox being, intimate. And he also finds the tape. And when he sees the tape, I see just two young kids, nervous at first, trying to sing, and then finally getting it. And they're facing one another. I really didn't look at it in a sexual way at all, even when they initially did it. I mean, the song was, I only think of you day and night. I go for broke when I can't be with you. Only you can make it right. Okay, I guess, yeah. I don't know. I just didn't see it that way. You know what I'm saying? But Marvin takes it hard. Jukebox walks in, and he was like, so you one of them Lebanese? I'm like, okay, so you remember the word Lebanese, but you can't remember lesbian? It's just the kind of ignorance. He starts telling her, just riding her real hard about being gay. He calls her a female agate, and a girl agate. That's what he calls her. It's just so stupid. And he was like, "You with this white chick?" And she was like, "She's not here anymore. She's dead. She's gone." And she still got that same kind of numb, bulletproof type facade on. And he says, "Good, she's dead. That's where she needs to be," and yada yada yada. Because anybody that does this, that, or the third needs to be dead. And I think and he just goes on, and she is just like, and something just wells up in her, and she hauls off, and she spits right in her dad's face. He slaps her hard, waka cha chow, knocks her to the floor. Then he stomps on that tape, stomp, 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 breaks that tape up. She gets up and she runs and she jumps on him. He throws her hard to the bed. Thank the Lord for the bed. I mean, at this point, he's fighting her like a dude. And oh my gosh, she jumps up again and jumps on him a bit more, and he throws her down and snatches her up. And he's telling her, you just think you a dude, a ninja. You ain't no ninja, but I'm gonna show you what a real ninja does. And he's choking her out. Like, we can see her sliding down the wall as he's choking her out. He is choking the life out of her. We see her taking those last few breaths, and the look on his face as he is choking her down. And finally he lets her go and throws her hard on the ground. It's one of those moments where you cannot breathe in enough. Like, you cannot breathe in deeply enough. Like if it was you and the light and Jesus, like you can hear Jesus in the background, just beyond the light. Like, she was that close to dying by the hands of her dad. Then he sits down and he puts his head down and he's like, he's so frustrated. She gets up and she turns around and walks out. Right? She goes and she sees Burke. And she's standing outside the precinct. And Burke was like, "You could have came in and talked to me." She was like, "Dude, you 5-0. And if I want to put a target on my head as a snitch, that's what I would do. I would come inside." Burke is like, "Let me get a car." She goes, gets a car, comes back, and Jukebox is in the car. And Jukebox is like, she said, "What happened to you? Who did that to your face?" And she was like, "Look, Unique is coming for you guys. He's got it in for you guys, for cops, period, because you guys hit his stash. I'm just telling you. I'm just trying to look." She said, "Why are you telling me this? How do you know this?" She said, "I just don't want anyone else to get hurt. This is what the plan with her and Rock have rolled out." She just went to execute the plan after having this horrific fight with her dad. The fight with Marvin, and she calls him Marvin. She doesn't call him dad. She called him Marvin. He was like, "You're just like your mama." You know what I'm saying? And her whole side of the family, a bunch of heathen and Philistines, uncircumcised Philistines. You know all this, but you don't know lesbian. It was the worst, the most horrific thing I've ever seen. I never experienced that in my own home, but I never hauled off and spit on my mama or my daddy. I don't know where one gets the balls for that, but he was being horrible to her. And I know I've said before in the past that Rock needs to tighten up, and put one of these on Kanan, because that's how I grew up. I grew up where you had to go hard on boys because they was tougher than girls. So I grew up with this notion that if a boy buck up at you, you know what I'm saying, you fight him. If you a female, you fight him like a dude, right? And that's supposed to let him know that he can't roll up on you. But after I see what's going on, it's wrong on all fronts, male or female. Like, moms and dads shouldn't be beating their kids like strangers off the street. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was this close to killing his daughter. And yeah, all that was a knee-jerk reaction to her spitting on him slapping her. But that the reason that the fight even broke out is because you trying to rule over her in this horrific way. Like, you have no love and compassion for your child whatsoever. And that's really where the fight started. When Jukebox walked out of there after he had choked her and let her go, I said to myself, this is when Jukebox changed, right? Everybody felt like it was when Nicole died, and everything. I think this is the moment that something shifted in Jukebox, and she went over to the dark side. This is the moment. It would have been a moment for me. The trauma of my father almost choking me to death, slapping me in my face, throwing me around, saying something so horrific that it made me lose my mind and spit in his face. That would change me forever. That would wound me forever. That one scene, I believe, is what changed Jukebox for the rest of her life. Y'all tell me what you think. Y'all put it down below. But yeah, I just think that's the day Laverne died. Honestly. So let's talk about Rock, and this is going to be the last bit of it. First and foremost, Rock knows that she's about to go to war, and she preemptively runs Symphony off. Basically, she went old school on him and just attacked him, went off on him, made him mad until he was like, "Buck you, Rock." And she was like, "Yeah, there he is. Finally, a man shows up. I was wondering where you were." And then before he walks off for good, he looks around and looks at her like I don't even know you. I don't even know you. I tossed your salad, girl. You know what I'm saying? I gave you that Georgia Dome, right? You know what I'm saying? I downtown Julie Browned you. This how you gonna act? That's how he looked when he turned around. Okay. And he says, you tell Marvin Tony can't be trusted. He didn't even go into the details of it because Rock was being so disgusting. She's just running him off because she knows that they about to go to war. Right? That's all that whole scene was about. Then we see where she also learns what her payment to Howard is going to be for saving Lou, right? Howard says, I tried to threaten you. I tried to plead with you, but I've had it. Tonight's the night. I want to meet with Kanan, and Kanan all by himself. You need to tell him who I am and then send him to meet with me so I can talk to him. And I don't want nobody else there. Not Marvin, nobody. You and your brothers and your crew better not try nothing, because I don't have no problem lighting y'all up. I've had it. Enough is enough. I need to talk to my son, because he didn't already talk to the doctor. You know, he didn't already talk to the doctor and just basically confirmed that that he's got a son and it's a possible match for blood marrow, bone marrow. And the doctor was like, remember, you got to get permission. He said, yeah. And so when he's talking to Rock, he's like, yeah. And I also might need one other thing from you that I don't need you to deny from me. And he told her, he said, if you don't have Kanan meet me, I'm going to put a warrant out for his arrest. I'm going to have him picked up for murder. And she was like, oh, that's how it is? He was like, look, I done tried you 5 ways to Sunday to get you to do this amicably. Since you don't want to do it, I'm going to have to go this route, you know. And she was like, fine. Don't try nothing suspicious. Okay. No funny business. All right. So then we see where Rock is down in the chaplains, in the chapel, church chapel in the hospital. In walks Marvin. He says it's too late to pray for the things that you've done. She's like, I'm asking for forgiveness for the things I'm about to do. I was like, ooh, chill. They're multiplying. Anyway. So she chastises him for running down on the crew. I told you not right now to wait on me. He was like, Rock, I ride for my family. You know what I'm saying? I'm loyal to the end. And I'm a man. Nobody's going to run down on my brother and my family, and I don't retaliate. And she was like, we have to do this. And so he's like, look, Rock, you smarter than me. You better at this in every way than I am. Only reason I took this over, Marvin, was because you got high on your own supply. He was like, listen, I'm the oldest. I raised y'all when mom and dad wasn't on their game. Basically, they mama and daddy was on that stuff too, right? He said, but you, I get it. You my baby sister, but you better at all of this than I am. But I'm still a man. I still need to be respected as a man. I still need to be treated like a man, right? And she was like, okay, I want you back. I want you back on the crew. We need all hands on deck. And this is when she kind of puts him in charge of Kanan a little bit, getting Kanan his guns and getting Kanan set up to be a official member of the crew. It's during this conversation. So, like I said, she invites him back into the fold, and they make a plan of battle. Okay, so she's also, like I said, giving Marvin full permission now to include Kanan into the bull skit. Later, she teaches Kanan a little bit more about shooting and killing a man and how to kill a man. You know what I'm saying? She's like, two to the chest, two. You know what I'm saying? And one to the head, cha-chow, right? And then after she does that, she goes to church, right? She goes to church because she needs an alibi, all right? At the same time that she's talking to Kanan, Unique is talking to his boys, right? And she's giving Kanan this speech about killing a man, how to kill a man. And she said, I'm asking you tonight to take this gun. She runs down all the guns, how they lock, how they don't shoot, squeeze the trigger, don't pull it, all of this stuff. She's giving him like this flash course, like accelerated course in killing a guy. And she tells him, I need you to kill somebody. Tonight you're going to have to kill somebody. And you're going to meet with somebody. And when you meet with this person, this is what you're going to do. And you're going to kill them dead. You're going to look them in their eye and you're going to kill them dead. Okay? Because this person is trying to destroy your mom. Oh, you were right. You were right when you said you were built for this. You were right when you said you was born to this before you was born into this before you was born into this. Oh, you was right about all of that. Your mom has been wrong, right? I'm finna roll you out as a full-fledged gangster, okay? And you're doing this, okay, for your mom, right? Same time she giving this bullcocky speech to Kanan, using him basically as a patsy to kill her enemy and stop the truth from coming out. Unique is giving his boys a Tony Montana, Few Good Men, Braveheart, 300 speech. This is war. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. And the boys are like, yeah, we going to war. Yeah. They're both giving these simultaneous speeches. Then we see where Rock goes to church with her mom. My mom was like, dude, you ain't been to church in a year. Mom, you ever thought about why I turned out the way that I turned out? She was like, it don't have nothing to do with me. Stop blaming your mama. It was you. If you not happy with who you are, you don't have nobody to blame but yourself. This sounds like the speech that Rock gave Kanan in episode 8. But really, Rock is killing two birds with one stone while her son is out there committing murder on her behalf. And Unique is going to war, prepping his soldiers for complete war. I mean, he got like a warehouse full of dudes. Deep. We ain't seen Rock deep yet. Even in this moment, she's sitting in church, storm is passing over. Storm is passing over. Storm is passing over. Hallelujah. You just sitting here with your mama and all the other elderly ladies in church. Where your crew at, Rock? Where your speech at? Kanan is your crew? Kanan's your only crew? Him and Jukebox? Huh? I digress. Kanan executes the plan. Okay. While Unique is giving his speech to Many Fools, Rock gives her speech to one fool, and that's Kanan. He goes to execute the plan. Walks up into the dark. He's already got a red hoodie on. In the bag, he's got that coat from Unique with Unique's name on the bag. Gold with the Gucci sleeves. Ridiculous. He got that in a Kroger sack. Okay. He put that on around the corner. Okay, and pop his hoodie outside of it, and then pop the hoodie over his head, right? So you can't see who underneath it. But Joey Badass, Unique, is a slim dude. Kanan is a big dude. He's a bulky dude. He's already told his mom she don't need to apologize for D-Wiz. He down. He game. Whatever she need, he got it. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this. I understand what you're saying. Streets need a body. Right? You let me know when I could be, I could make that body happen for you, Mom. He sold out on it. She sold out on it. Marvin sold out on it. Oh, here he is to execute it. It's dark. Walks up and he's shocked. He locked and loaded. Now he got his gap. Locked and loaded. Walks up. And he's shocked to see that it's Howard. It's a police officer. I got to kill a police officer? He don't say nothing. Howard does all the talk. Howard says, oh, believe it or not, he's smoking that cool. Goes down, stomps it out. I rehearsed all day what I was going to say to you. Now that you're here, I done forgot all that skit. And, he says, hey, wait a minute. That's not your jacket. Why are you wearing that jacket? That ain't your jacket. Kanan said, poof, shoots him in the chest, falls down. When he gets on the ground, he's like, you got 50 Cent talking in the background. Gotta have two kinds of friends. Friends that help you, you don't need a good friend to help you kill, a best friend to help you carry the body. But the truth is, once you get used to this ish, you can do your own killing, right? Shoots him in the head. But your mama said 2 to the heart, 1 to the head. That's what your mama said you got to do. Now, you did execute the plan, but you fell short on that, sir. You're supposed to do 2 to the heart, 1 to the head. All right? So when he shoots him, the body jump. Don't mean he dead, though. Don't mean he dead. That's all I'm saying. Your mama said 2 to the heart, 1 to the head. You did 1 to the heart, 1 to the head. Hopefully that's enough for you. But he don't even get a chance. Howard don't even get a chance to say what it is he needed to say. To let Kanan know that you just killed your daddy. You about to kill your daddy. I'm your daddy. I'm your real daddy. That's the end of the episode. Here are my questions. Here are my quandaries. And y'all tell me what you think. Put it down below. The fight between Jukebox and Marvin is what changed her. Do you guys agree? It was really, really brutal. It was really brutal. I know there's going to be some arguments about she's a child and you spit in your daddy's face. I get all of that. I really, really do. But if you had a parent that loved you, really leads in love, I don't know that it would have went that far. I think she might have got slapped, yeah. But choking her out, I don't know. That fight was horrific. No family should ever be fighting like that. I mean, not siblings, not mamas and daddies, not mamas and daddies and their children. Like those types of fight, it should never, ever, ever escalate to that point. That was horrific. And at the end of the day, Jukebox is the minor. She's the minor when she's talking to Burke. Everything she's saying to Burke, it means nothing because she's a minor and she don't have nobody, a guardian there with her. It's all bull crap, right? The way they treat her, the fact that Rock is sending her into the fire like that, you know what I'm saying? To be like a low key op. All of this, I think, is what changed Juke. you know. Number two, is Lou gonna return to the game? Oftentimes, when somebody comes this close to dying, they just have this like these life changes, these existential moments where they're just like, what's it all about? So that's a question. Marvin and Rock are the same person. You know, she, wants to call him stupid and dumb, and he is impulsive. But at the end of the day, they don't fight for their children, they fight with their children, right? Both Kanan and Jukebox, with the money that Rock is making, could have been sent to a private school somewhere. They didn't have to be a part of none of this ish. And she certainly didn't need to send him to live with his grandmother, because his grandmother don't care. She would have raised him to be a complete jerk. He would have been a butthole too. He probably wouldn't have been a murderer, but he probably would have still been a butthole. You know what I mean? Both and Rock and Marvin are self-serving. They call it business and loyalty, revolution, changing the game, all this other stuff. But everyone and everything is collateral damage, including their own children. Including their own children. I have, after this episode, I don't really care for Rock anymore. Although beautiful actress, she was styled beautifully again this week, but I don't have no love for Rock. I don't have. Yeah, everybody else is just collateral damage. The speech Rock gave Kanan in order to get him to kill his father is the same bullshit arse rationale, yang yang, that he used to justify killing his own son some years later. Think about it. Think about it. Okay. Number 5, Marvin mentioned that their parents weren't there for them. Like maybe they was, you know, strung out or something like that. And later on at church, we did get to meet the grandmother that Rock threatened to send Kanan to. She's trash as well. We talked about that. And apparently she hadn't even seen her daughter in a year. So I just want to know what you guys think about this episode, the fight between Marvin and his daughter. Yeah, she did spit in his face, but man, that was a horrible, horrible scene. It should not go down like that in any family, anywhere in this world. And if the kids don't know better, mom and dad got to know better. At the same time, you got to defend yourself. You got to stand up for yourself. You can't let nobody put their hands on you and think that it's okay, even if it's your own child. But it just went so far left that I do believe that this is the incident that changed Jukebox forever. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Y'all put it down below. And until next time, honeybees, mwah, mwah, mwah.